What? Car, do you mind? What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and everything else in between? Astromax Gaming here with yet another tier list. This time, not Crash Bandicoot, The Legend of Zelda. I also really like Legend of Zelda. It's up there with my favourite video game series. I'm going to do my favourite, so I'm going to do Crash, Zelda, and then more's going to be coming soon, so you better stay tuned for that. So, as you can see, we have here these games, these tiers. Amazing being really good, same kind of deal as my last video. Great being really good, but like with some flaws. Good being it's pretty good, like you wouldn't like go scouring the internet to try and find a copy of this, but it's pretty alright. Okay, it's not bad, but it's not really good either. And then bad being just bad. Don't buy it. So first up we have A Link Between Worlds. This came out on the 3DS, I think, yeah. And it's amazing. Okay, it's very good. It's supposed to be like a direct sequel to A Link to the Past right here, and I think it does its job pretty well because there's like low rule and high rule, like different places. There's like a bad version of Link. It's not really bad, he just gives you items and stuff. And the story's pretty good. I won't spoil it because unlike the Crash games, that most of them were old. This game isn't that old. I mean, it's probably coming up to 10 years next year, but still, if you guys haven't played this one, you definitely should pick it up. Next up, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. This is also amazing. I wouldn't say it's better than A Link Between Worlds, actually. I'd say it's just before, because again, this is meant to be a sequel, so this here is good because it starts off where Link is like in a house and he's sleeping, and his dad, I don't really know, it's some guy that he lives with, I think it's his dad, like goes out to help like to the castle, and then he's dead, and then you pick up his sword and do all this kind of wacky stuff. Well, it's not really wacky, it's big serious. So yeah, it's cool because it has like Zelda for like, instead of just like being in a castle, she actually does something this time, so that's pretty neat. So that's why A Link to the Past is amazing, and also it looks way better than the first two Zelda games, so that's good. Next up, Link's Awakening. This game is a weird one because it doesn't even have like Zelda or Ganon or like anything like that. It's just Link crash landed on this island, and spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1, the whole game's just a dream. He just has to wake up this windfish, and he's not actually real. His friends are fake. He has no family, and he just wakes up again at the end of the game. But it's cool. The last bit is really cool, and it's kind of sad as you go on. Like you realise there's all a dream, you know. So I don't think it's amazing. I think it's pretty great. So I'm just gonna put it there. Next up, Four Swords. So I think this was like a multiplayer expansion to like the Game Boy release of this one, Link to the Past, Game Boy Advance, and you needed like 4 Game Boy Advance, or at least like 2 to play multiplayer, and that's a lot of money. So, and I don't even think it's worth it. I'm gonna put it at okay, because like it's okay. Yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about this one, but if you want to play multiplayer Zelda, there's better options. Like there's this one. I like this one. I don't know if a lot of people do, but I like this one. But we'll get on to that one soon. Next up, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. I have this on the GameCube bundle, like the one with like Ocarina of Time, the first 2, and this one. And I haven't actually beaten it yet. Let's be real. Like, to be real, I've got quite a decent way through, and so far I'm really enjoying it. So I'm gonna put it. It's not amazing, but I'm gonna put it here. Okay, so above Link's Awakening, because it's pretty good. And like, again with Link's Awakening, there's no Ganon or Zelda or anything like that. It's after Ocarina of Time, like the child timeline, because you know the Zelda timeline just doesn't make any sense, very confusing. And yeah, so it's after that, and yeah, there's like this evil guy, Skull Kid, has been taken over by the Majora's Mask, and the fact that every time you look up in the game, you can just see the moon, and it gets closer and closer, and after the 3 days, then you're just like game over, and just before it happens, you use the Song of Time, and then you go back in time, and it's so cool, like such a good concept. Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. I'm gonna put these in the same place because you don't need one without the other. You need both of them for like the full package. So that's why. Well, I think so. They're both on Game Boy Color, which is good. I don't know why, but it is. I'm gonna probably put them at great. Because you can play both of them on your own. Like, it's not recommended, but you don't get the secret ending, like the full ending, the proper ending, without both of them. Once you've completed one of them, then you complete the other one, and then you get the true final boss, which is like a really cool idea. It's kind of like the Pokemon games, except not really. Like, there's 2 separate versions of the same game. Although the story in each of them is slightly different with the different characters and with that. If you want to pick up this game, I'm guessing it's probably be expensive because it's Game Boy Color and that's like retro tech now. But if you can find the copy, it'd probably be worth it. Phantom Hourglass, okay, because it's a DS game, so it's gonna have touch controls, and you don't move Link with the D-pad like you think you do. You move him with the stylus, and some people adjusted to that. I don't really like it, but I do like how you use all the items with the stylus, like the boomerang. That's cool. So it's Phantom Hourglass is supposed to be a sequel to Wind Waker. Where is Wind Waker? What? Oh, where's Wind Waker? Oh, here it is. Oh, right. So it's supposed to be a direct sequel to Wind Waker. So you again travel on the sea in a boat, except I don't like it as much as Wind Waker because you really get that sense of adventure on Wind Waker, especially with the Wii U port. But that isn't here because it's basically the same game. And yeah, I really like it. This game though, I don't like it. Okay, it's just not that good. It's kind of, I guess it's like an acquired taste, but to me, it's just kind of boring. Zelda Skyward Sword. I know a lot of people don't like this game. I really do like it though. I really like it. So I'm gonna put it here. No, maybe that's a bit... Okay, fine, I'll just put it here. I like it because the dynamic between Link and Zelda is like nothing seen before. Like, it's a proper story. And it's also the first one in the whole Zelda timeline. So this game right here is at the beginning of all of it, and that's a nice touch because it's the origin of the Master Sword, the origin of Zelda and the gods and all that kind of stuff. It's also got the origin of Ganon. Well, it doesn't actually have Ganon in it. It has Demise, which is the incarnation of all evil in Hyrule. Well, it wasn't called Hyrule at the time, but this game, they have an HD remake-ish. It's more like a remaster on the Switch. Pick it up if you can. It's actually really good in my opinion. And motion controls are they're pretty decent on the Wii. On the Switch though, because the Switch doesn't have that sensor bar that the Wii does, the motion controls don't even feel as good. So I just use the button controls. I feel like that's better. Next up, Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. This is a sequel to Phantom Hourglass-ish. And I'd say it's worse than Phantom Hourglass because instead of going on a boat across the sea, you go on a train, and that's just not as exciting because trains go on set paths, they're just on a railway, but boats can go anywhere. So it's just not as exciting, and it's kind of the same really, touch controls, all that kind of stuff. I don't really recommend either of them. But if you're gonna pick up a DS Zelda game, Phantom Hourglass is the one to go to. Next up, The Adventure of Link, second Zelda game. It's bad, okay? It's bad. I know, not because it's difficult or whatever. I have this game again on the GameCube bundle. I know that it's only the second game, so they were kind of experimenting with the formula. But the first game nailed it with like the top-down perspective, so they just changed it. And I don't really like that. And also, it's like the controls. I know it's an NES game, but they're like kind of bad. Like, you always have your shield out, which is like, it's good, but then you like have to crouch to block low attacks and then jump up and then like stand up to block high attacks, and it's just kind of, I think they did it better in the first game. Speaking of, The Legend of Zelda is good. It's good. It's not great. I mean, it's not like really, really good, but for the time, for like the first of the series, it's good. And it's not like they haven't remade this game or anything, so this is like the best version you're gonna get. And I think it's good. There are only 2 buttons on the NES, so I mean the same with Adventure of Link, but especially with this one because it's better, so you're gonna be spending your time more on it. It's like, it feels better to play, even though like you can only move in 4 directions, because in A Link to the Past and like every other game here except for this one, you can move in 8 directions, and in the 3D ones you can move in like, well, apart from Majora's Mask, but you can move in like smoothly round. But the 2D games, you can move in 8 directions in A Link to the Past, but then in the original you can only move in 4. And I found that kind of jarring, since I played A Link to the Past before the original, so I kind of forgot that you could only move in 4 directions. And the thing is that it just kind of throws you in, like it doesn't really tell you what to do, and that's part of the magic really, because like not knowing what to do is like, it's like a proper adventure. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, amazing. Better, no, top spot, best one. It's so good. I love it so much. Like getting on your boat, like after doing like a side quest or something, getting on your boat and sailing to another island and like doing a different quest, is just, it feels so much like you're an adventurer or something. And it does feel like a bit like a pirate, but there are pirates in it, so I like the final boss against Ganon, and when you have to like get Zelda to like hit him, and then Ganon smacks Zelda in the face. It's just so disrespectful, but it's also really funny, and it's the best part of the game. And also the final part when like Link stabs Ganon in the head and then he turns to stone is like the best part. It's so epic, and for once in like a Zelda game, it kind of makes you feel bad for Ganon, because he was stuck in the desert while everyone else had like the luxury, and you just feel like, man, that's a proper villain story, because he got greedy and he wanted all the luxury that the Hylians had. So very good game. Wind Waker, you can get it on Wii U, you can get it on GameCube, you can get it on a Wii if you have like a controller, GameCube controller and memory card. Yeah, do all that sort of stuff. Just make sure you find a way to get it, and I hope it comes to Switch one time, because you know they have Skyward Sword HD, then just getting this on the Switch, even better. Speaking of games with HD remakes, Twilight Princess is going to go here. I like it. It's kind of like, it's kind of like darker than the rest of the games. I mean, Majora's Mask was pretty dark as well, but this is like dark as well. And they made Link, he's not like a little child anymore like me. He's like a proper brawny teenage guy, and he's a farmer, so he's gonna be strong. But at the beginning of the game, he stops a sheep, or is it a wolf, I can't remember, with like his bare hands. He just got like pushes it. That's pretty badass. This guy is like absolutely insane. And the final battle, it's not the hardest thing, but the part when you have Link and Zelda on the horse fighting Ganon is like so epic, and then the bit where it's just a sword fight is just so cool. And then again, how Ganon dies is just epic. Like, you don't feel as bad for him like you do in Wind Waker, but he's still a really cool villain. Like how he gets stabbed with the Master Sword, and then he just gets like, you just see him like that, and he's got like cape, and he's like blowing in the wind. That's very cool. Triforce Heroes. I mean, it's okay. I'm gonna put it here, because I'm gonna put it here, okay? Because with 3 players, it can be really fun, like very fun. But with 1 player, with like just on your own controlling all 3 links, it just gets kind of boring, like moving them all to each position, because most of the time you can't move the other links. Like, once you're controlling one of them, you can't move all 3 of them at the same time, unless you carry them. But you can't really do a lot of stuff if you're carrying them on your head. So I mean, the puzzles are really well done, because you know they're thought about 3 people, and like I said, it's better with 3 people. But with only 1 person controlling all these 3 links, it isn't that fun. But the story is like, it's really different for a Zelda game. Like, it's just really funny. Like, there's like this fashion show, and this lady, she's like forced to wear a black like skin suit for the rest of her life, and then everyone's so sad because she looks really ugly. It's just so weird, but I like it. Next up, Legend of Zelda 4 Sword Adventures is great, okay? Because unlike Triforce Heroes, you don't need 4 players to like have fun. I mean, in this case 3 players, but in 4 Sword Adventures you can control all 3 links by, you know, you can just control them. Like, all 4. Did I say all 3? I meant all 4. All 4 links. You can just like play with them. You don't even need 4 players to have fun. You can like change them how they stand, but all 4 links, even if you have 4 players, they all have the same health bar, which kind of makes it more challenging, because if one of you takes damage, they all take damage, you know? Just like in Minish Cap. But we'll get to that in a second, okay? Be patient, because we still have Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Let me just, excuse me, coming through. Yeah, there we go. Excuse me, there we go. So, best Zelda game. Well, okay, let me be real. It's not the best Zelda game, but it's the best game here, because for a Zelda game, it's missing a lot of this like items. Like, they do have boomerangs and stuff, but they break. It's because they have weapon breaking in this game now. So if your weapon like breaks, then that's it. You can't use it again until you find another one. And I hope in Breath of the Wild 2, which is supposed to be coming out next year, fingers crossed it doesn't get delayed again, that they have like weapon fixing. So like, if your weapon's about to break, you can like fix it, kind of like in Minecraft. So if they add that, that's cool. And it's really similar to the first Zelda game, how you're just thrown into a world, not really told what to do. And there's also an old man, which is nice. But the old man is actually the king. Oh yeah, spoiler alert, by the way. Yeah. Sorry for spoiling Breath of the Wild, but it's been out for like 5 years, so what are you doing? Go and get it now. Look, it's at the top of the tier. Look, it's that amazing. You should definitely get it, because it's on the Wii U, it's on the Switch. Doesn't matter. Get it. Next up, The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. This is gonna go here. Yeah, here. Because it's like, it's easy, and then the final boss is just where Sunny gets really hard, and I like that Sun change of challenge, but it's kind of overwhelming for new players. So if this is going to be your first Zelda game, then I feel sorry for you, because it shouldn't be, but it is still a very good game, especially because you can like roll now in a 2D game, which I'm pretty sure you couldn't do in the games before that. Actually, no, you might have been able to do it in this game, but shut up. Okay, this is my list. Yeah. So that's why Minish Cap is here, and the reason it's called Minish Cap is because this guy on Link's head, you see right here? Yeah. Let me just zoom in. Yeah, there we go. This one right here. He's like a hat that's been made by the people of the Minish, and that's why it's called the Minish Cap, because it can make Link go really tiny, so you can like do all this magic and stuff. I can't remember, it was a while ago when I played it. What, you think I'm some kind of completionist that plays through all these games again so that I can do a tier list about them? No, I played them all over like the course of a year, okay? So, yeah. And the final one, and I don't have a duplicate anymore. The final one is Ocarina of Time. Okay. Zelda Breath of the Wild is a better game than Ocarina of Time. Okay, let's be real. So you'd think that I put it here, but it's not a better Zelda game. Because even though Ocarina of Time was the first of its kind, the first 3D Zelda game, it still has done it best. Out of all of these, still done it best, because they just got unmatched power, you know, like all the classic items, the classic dungeons, like the Deco Tree dies, sad face, and the Ganon is just like, it's the first time we actually see Ganondorf instead of just Ganon, and it's like, it's cool because we actually see him in his human form, which is pretty epic. It also makes for a pretty epic final boss, because you think you're like, it's over when you're like playing tennis with him and then he falls down the tower and it starts crumbling and you run away. Then you actually have a fight with Ganon, the big pig guy. No, not Gammon, not your dinner, no, Ganon. Which is why Ocarina of Time is here. So, let me just review this. So, let me just change some things around. I think, let's start with the bad category. Oh. Wait, there's only one game in the bad category. Well, that's okay, because not a lot of Zelda games are bad, unlike Crash Bandicoot. They haven't had a bad history. They've actually kept it going, you know, kept the greatness going. So they made a mistake and they, you know, they up-leveled it up here. So I'd say in the okay, the best of the okays would probably be Phantom Hourglass. I said Phantom Hourglass, not Triforce Heroes, there we go. And then Four Swords, Spirit Tracks will be last. No. Yeah, there we go, that's it. Good's only got one. Actually, there we go. These two, it doesn't matter which way around these are. But personally, I like Oracle's better. Oracle of Ages, I mean. This is, wait, I can't even read this anymore. Link's Awakening, yeah. That is definitely great. I think it's probably better than Minish Cap, in my opinion. I like Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is the best of the greats. Yeah, I'd keep it like that. And then for the amazing, which is probably the hardest one, Link to the Past, no. Just to switch these two around. There we go. I just think the 3D games are better than the 2D ones. I don't know why, I just find them more enjoyable. So with that said, if you did go to enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more tier lists. If you don't want to see more tier lists, then don't subscribe. So let me know what you thought about this one in the comments below, and if you have different opinions, make sure to leave them down below. Goodbye.